Hi and welcome to the Release 39 video. We are excited to introduce the beta release of Caspio Webhooks as well as some enhancements to Caspio directories. Let's first take a look at webhooks. A webhook is a way for applications to communicate and automatically share data when a change occurs. Here's how it works. In this example, Caspio is the source application with a support ticketing form to submit data. An event such as inserting data, updating data, and even deleting data from your Caspio applications will trigger a notification or a webhook to send a payload, which is sent automatically to a third-party target service. In this initial beta release, you'll be able to create a webhook using Caspio's point-and-click interface. However, customizing the outgoing webhook structure will be available in a future release. For users with programming skills, you can use Caspio's REST API to configure webhooks programmatically. Refer to the how-to documentation to create webhook calls, edit event details, and customize the payload. As seen here, you can use Caspio's integration with Swagger UI to verify and test various webhook functions. In today's video, we'll set up an outgoing webhook in Caspio to notify users inside our Slack channel whenever a new support ticket comes in. In Caspio, I'll select Webhooks tab and create an outgoing webhook. Let's name this webhook Notification to Slack Channel. Now we need to add the outgoing webhook URL to where the data will be sent. The outgoing URL is provided by the target service. For the purpose of today's demo, I'll be using Make to send data from my Caspio account to Slack. Make is a no-code integration tool that supports different payload structures automatically. In my Make account, I will create a new scenario. Click on the plus icon to search for webhooks. Click Webhooks and select Custom Webhook, and then click Create a Webhook. Let's name it Receive Data from Caspio, and click Save. Make is going to provide the webhook URL, which I'll copy here so I can paste it in my Caspio account. Leave this screen open as Make will now look for incoming data from Caspio in order to determine the data structure. Let's go back to Caspio and paste the link of the outgoing URL. You can also enable a multicast webhook to send data to multiple services at the same time. Finally, click Create to complete the outgoing webhook. So now we have successfully created a communication link between Caspio and other services through Make. Next, we need to create an event which will trigger the outgoing webhook to send specific data, which is called a payload. First, select the table. In advance, I've already created my table, which is going to store the support ticket information. We have three different types of events to choose from. Trigger the outgoing webhook when new data is inserted, existing data is updated, or data is deleted. We're going to choose Insert. Under Payload, you can choose which fields you want to include. The first tab allows me to select all of my fields. This is the information that will be sent to the target service. Alternatively, you can include specific fields from your table. For today's demo, we're going to include all the fields. Information such as event ID and account ID is always included in the payload since you may need it on the receiving side to properly process the data. Please note that in this initial release, we cannot customize the payload structure itself or the header fields, but that option will be available in the future release. Let's go ahead and hit Create. Now to test the setup, let's go to my support ticketing form, let's fill out the form, and then go ahead and hit Submit. Let's go back to Make. I can see that the data was received and that the data structure was successfully determined. Let's click OK. I'll set up a new module and connect it to Slack. Once you've logged inside your Slack account, you'll see a list of options on what you want to happen inside your Slack account. I would like to create a new message. I'll select a channel from the list, and I'm going to use the support channel to receive messages. We can see the data that came in from Caspio and choose what fields and data to store inside the Slack account. I'll choose the title field, and in a new row, we'll select the description field. Let's hit OK. Let's submit my support ticketing form once more. We'll fill it out and hit Submit. And now in Slack, you'll immediately see that the message came in directly from our Caspio submission. Going back to my account, I'd like to highlight a few more features in Caspio webhooks. In the outgoing webhooks list, I can see the activity for a specific time frame and check the stats for messages, calls, and errors. For any webhook, I can edit the details as well as change the maximum number of calls per second up to the limits of my Caspio plan. Lastly, under Logs, I can see all the webhook activities in my account for monitoring and troubleshooting purposes, or to serve as an audit trail of all information passing to other systems. Moving on, we've also added a few enhancements to Caspio Directories. You'll see a new branding option under the User Portal tab, where you can personalize the appearance of your login interface, including the color of buttons and icons, header and footer, link color, and background color. That concludes what's new in Release 39. For details, please check out the online help articles at howto.caspio.com. See you soon in another release video. Thanks for watching.